Hey y'all, it's Frederick from CHH Talk, and I got here the owners of Just BYOD, which stands for Build Your Own Dreams. We have Erinn Knight. You introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Erinn. Am I supposed to give like an actual introduction or what?
Just say what's up. It's fine.
Okay, I'm Erinn.
Then we got Brandon Boone.
Yo, what's good?
How y'all doing? So basically, if you don't know by now, this Quarantine Christian series is where I sit down and talk to people within the Christian hip hop sphere about how quarantine has changed them, changed their work ethic or the outlook on life or whatever. I just ask them a quick series of questions and we just chop it up. So let's go. So my first question is not necessarily artistically, but what was life for y'all like as far as dealing with music or just your area of work before quarantine started?
Like what I was doing before that time?
Yes.
So I'm an artist manager and an event producer and a booking agent. So prior to quarantine, I was touring a lot and just throwing shows and events. And working with my artists. So that hasn't changed during quarantine, minus the touring aspect. But yeah, artist manager, booking agent, event curator. Yeah.
All of that.
Word.
And it's pretty much the same for me. I always was in marketing, so I work for RMG as well, and still do. Then I was doing a lot of events and stuff as well around Austin, and helping Erinn with some of the tours she was throwing. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, really, besides the shows and events and stuff.
All right. Oh wow. So that makes this next question easier, because it seems like that y'all are able to have an easy transition. So like once y'all realized that quarantine was a reality and not just like a few months or a month, what was y'all's look and how did y'all like move forward?
I think we were I would say we were shook a little bit at first. It first hit me. I don't know if everybody aware, but South by Southwest and
I know.
in Austin, that's when it first kind of started. And I think Erinn, then you send me. I sent you the text or something saying that South by was canceled, something like that. We was like, whoa.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, 'cause we had a lot of stuff planned for that. We was working on like 2-3 different events for South by. So that's when it really hit us. And we had a lot planned tour-wise. We had like, 3 tours planned.
Yep.
So we was like, man, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what's the next move? So, but after we kind of got through those first couple of months, it was like, all right, cool. We're going to start doing this. We got this going on. And then that's kind of how BYOD was born. Kind of from my perspective. But Erinn probably can kind of say a little bit more about that.
No, that's dead on. It was so crazy because like Brandon and I had been working together since like May of 2018. We met at South by, but last year because I had done a couple tours last year, but by the time I got to the third one, it was way bigger. The third one that I threw last year was St. Holy Tour. So like Brandon just hit me and was like, yo, if you need help with anything, let me know. I didn't know how to ask for help back then, and not out of pride. It was just like my head, it has so much going on. I'm like, what could I ask somebody to do? So he would just be like, yo, I could take care of ticketing. Hey, do you want me to help with social media? And then he'd be like, do you want me to keep up with the finances? And every time he asked me something, I was like, I need exactly that. Yes. So we started working together. Mike Mack, who's our other business partner in the booking agency, same thing, had been working on other tours with me. And I was like, yo, like, we need to just bring this together. So we decided to start a booking agency together. So that's why Brandon's like, we had just started our booking agency only in October of last year.
Oh, wow.
So from October to February, we already had 3 tours booked and 2 more tours that we had guarantees for. So it was like 6 months, our business was like boom, boom, boom. So, so all of that got canceled week 1, which was devastating. But I personally was so relieved because even with South by, I was gonna be on tour the week before and of South by. I had one off day, was gonna fly to South by and then like fly back. It was just like my schedule was already crazy. I was burned out. So yeah, it was devastating, but also like in the back of my mind, I was just like, damn, like maybe now I can breathe for a little bit, you know? So yeah, it was a little bit like, yo, this is kind of wild, but I think we knew right at the like up front that it was going to last a really long time because you know, they always say follow the dollars. So like South by Southwest canceling is the South by Southwest is one of the highest, I think the highest grossing music event in the US, right? So like single 1 week thing, and that's just the music week, not even film, because they have 3 other weeks. So when that got canceled, I was like, oh shoot, this is way bigger than I'm anticipating. And then I was like, the only other indicator for me was like, if they keep playing sports, then it's like, whatever, we're cool. We'll be back to concerts. As soon as they canceled NBA, NFL, all of that, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be inside for a really long time. So I think up front, like week 1, we all knew it was gonna be way longer than just a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Also because our job is to follow the money and know trends. But yeah, I think within a month though, because it's just my and Brandon's nature, which is why we work really well together, within a month we were like, okay, so what are we doing next? If we're not going to have concerts and shows, which is our big money maker, like what are we doing? So we were just tossing around ideas at random time, but we also work on several other projects, so we were still just working. It's not like work stopped for us, it just moved all to digital. So I know that took a really long time to just answer your question, but I'm just saying like we were seeing it way differently, I think, like than most people, whereas most people thought it was going to be a couple of weeks. I'm just like, they don't cancel events for sickness. That's like unprecedented in our world. You know what I'm saying? Like the flu, SARS, swine flu, like nothing was canceled. So as soon as things started being canceled, I'm like, the world has never seen this. Things are about to change. So yeah, I think that informed a lot of my perspective.
Or you just answered like the next 2 of my questions. That's crazy. But I don't know if you answered this or not, but when was Just BYOD hatched? When did y'all like sit down like, okay, let's get it?
So Just BYOD is just our handle on social media. The company is actually called Build Your Own Dreams, and then we just say BYOD for simplicity. But so the funny thing is like, maybe it's not funny, but like my whole life I've wanted to have a label, you know? And I knew it was gonna happen when I was, I think 24, I started a label and we actually got funding, toured with it, whatever. But then I was in rock music at the time. The band kind of just like lost their mind and I gave my shares back and just let them have the label. So as my only endeavor, it was way less formal, just a little contract with the investor and that was it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say after I got over my grief in quarantine, I was just like, it was May, is around my birthday. I always try to start something creative, like something that scares me and is interesting or whatever around my birthday. And so I just started thinking like, what's my next step going to be if concerts don't come back or when they don't, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I have time. Like, I want to start a label. And at the time, our first artist, who we haven't announced yet, had a really dope project. And I was just kind of helping them like look for a place for their project to land, and nobody was coming back like with zeal, like excited or passionate about it. People were like, oh, this is dope, like yeah, it's on, Brandon.
Snap, my bad.
You good?
I'm gonna hop back on. I'm gonna hop off and hop back on because I don't know what's going on. I can't even see y'all.
Oh dang, yeah,
that's
it's
why my
on.
camera not on. I wasn't sure.
Okay, yeah, hop off and hop back.
All right.
Do you want me to keep going on this story or not?
You can. I mean, I didn't know if you wanted Brandon to be back whenever you resume.
Yeah, I'll just wait. I'm sorry I'm answering so long.
Oh, it's literally great.
I don't talk a lot unless it's about work. So then sometimes when I'm telling stories, I'm like verbally processing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because usually what I do is I usually have to like egg on interviews or like intertwine the questions. But I always think of interviews as a script, not a dialogue. So as a dialogue, not a script.
Precisely.
So
Well, yes, but you're telling a story. I think I could tell where you were going with this, which is why I started jumping down the funnel, because I like could even follow the sequence by the time you got to your second question. So I think you have an intuitive way of interviewing people. So kudos to you.
Thank you. That means a lot. My first interview was in September, so I've been trying to.
Wow.
I've been trying to work on my craft since
You
then.
interview like a writer, though. I can tell now that you're saying that because you're trying to create a story so that people are like, this is what, like you're completing a loop, and
Thank you.
I'm
literally,
a storyteller.
Ma'am, what did you say? No, I said my questions are literally a story. Like that makes. Thank you. I always wonder, like, yo, am I tripping whenever I do this? Like,
no, it's great. I can see it. Like by nature, marketers are storytellers. People think it's just like this really technical thing, but it's like you have to be great at telling stories to be good at marketing. So like if somebody is telling a story and they had just started, just because I'm in the practice of telling stories, I can see it. So like by the time you got to the second question, I was like, oh, I see where you're leading the audience. This is good.
But to resume, hold on, make sure.
It looks like his screen's about to come on. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
The goat in the flesh. Look at this man. Frederick, this is a goat.
Chill out. What's good? My bad, y'all. I'm
good.
You good.
But you were talking about, Erinn, about the project that you had with the unannounced artists and how no one was coming back to it.
Yeah, so people, I think I have some pretty good relationships, but this artist has, like the clout to kind of be able to maneuver through stuff. And so we were getting replies back and conversation, but nobody was really like jumping at the project. And I loved the project. I thought it was like, yo, this is absolutely insane to me. So I was like, so right around that time, which is about, I'd say 3 or 4 months into shopping the project, I'm frustrated that nobody has already signed on to it and like taken it. And it's also around my birthday, which is a creative time for me. So I just tweeted, I wish I could continue what I'm doing and make it bigger. Like, because what I've been doing for years is just artist development. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the reason that my artists work really good on labels, I think, is because I'm really into building that story with them and developing them as human beings and as artists and just challenging their thought process. I think I have a unique style of management. I can't say I'm the first to do it. There's a lot of managers who move like this, but a lot more managers are more interested in like the finesse or the money, or you know what I'm saying? And like my thing is like character development in a actual sense and a proverbial sense. So as if my artist is a character in a movie, how can I get you to love the protagonist, right? Mm. But also like good character, you know what I'm saying? Like we watch series and sequels, and you'll watch a 3-part series if the character development is good. But if the first one is trash, you're never coming back, right? And so that's what I feel like with artists is way more than music. Their brand super matters. So I just wanted to start thinking more about brand stories and stuff like that, because I do it for so many people, even people I don't manage. Like people don't know how many people I really work with on a regular basis. You know, they see the people in my bio, but I work with a lot of artists. And so I was just like, how can I make this bigger, but also monetize it? Because I started getting to the point where I was burned out because I am friends with so many artists. Everybody just wants to call me to talk through their frustration, to talk through their album rollout, to talk through their business plans, to talk through their next label moves. And I'm like, yo, I love y'all, but like it took me 8 years, 9 years to get to this point and this much knowledge. This is a lot of heartache, hurt, pain, and money to get to this point. Like y'all gotta respect it enough to pay me for it, you know? Mm. And so I wanted to kind of create something that can continue to escalate artists, but also like give them a hub of support. I know a lot of the time the reason that art creators come to me is because I am so nurturing. And so like I can see their vision really, really early and be like, oh, like let's take it there. But I care about them as humans. And so I think that it's almost like they have like a creative mom or a creative aunt or a creative
I think
sister,
you
and
speak
they're like,
about Aunt Eve.
oh,
Yeah,
like she cares about me, but her mind works really well. Yeah. And so I understand that that's like a special privilege for them to feel that safe with me, but it still doesn't mean that I can't also get my just due, you know?
Mhm.
So that was kind of the thought process I was in May. I tweeted that, and man, it's like probably one of the best responses I think I've ever gotten on Twitter up until that point. So I said that, like, and I was like, a label or something like that. And I was like, okay, so I spent the rest of the week thinking about it. And then I texted Brandon and I was like, yo, what do you think about like starting a label? And I just basically told him, I'm like, man, this is the artist that I want to put out. He was like, bet. And then I'm like, this is what I feel like is the issue, whatever. I want to keep building stories, whatever. And he's like, man, I've always wanted to like do something like this. And the reason that I hit Brandon up is because like there's a type of energy and tenacity that you need to be able to like work in this industry.
Mhm.
Um, and it like rarely ever have I discovered somebody who has a similar energy or has like a crazy resume, but also is willing to work with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like either they have a similar energy, but they're not doing anything, or they have a similar resume, but they don't have the bandwidth or don't want to put anything else on their plate, or they're way far ahead of me, so I can't even bring this idea because it's like, yo, they're in a whole nother league. So the fact that Brandon is somebody that is definitely my peer, I feel like Brandon is still way better than me at a lot of stuff, or at most things, which is why I don't know why he works with me, because legit, like, I'm stressed out doing like a third of the things that Brandon does. Like he said, he still works for RMG. He just started his 4th LLC. I got to ask you about that, yo. What is your next business? Like, dang, he just got, we both had 3. Now he has 4. So I'm like, do I have to one up? I can't even think about one up. Like, literally, I'm so tired, and he's starting another business. So like, this man is a maven, but it's so rare to find people like him. He balances me out so well because he probably hates that I ramble so much, but is completely okay with it. You know what I'm saying? And then I think like him being in Austin, I love Atlanta, but he is attacking a whole nother scene. And so it's just like allowing us to spread out and do so many other things. So I don't know. It's just like, it was just such a perfect partnership. And when I hit him, he was so on board, a fan of the artist. And then he was like, here's other things that we could be doing to make money. And he's so like good at so many things. So it's even like, if I have an idea, he can grow it. Or if I'm like, I have nothing, he's like, well, here's an idea. And then I'm like, yo, okay, this makes sense. So I think like a working chemistry is super important, but also like a mutual respect for each other. So yeah, I mean, that's how it started. I just realized I'm tangenting about the story. I hit him up, we started working. See, this is me, like, so yeah, I hit him up, we started working, and within like, so he came to me with an idea. He's like, I would love to get stuff kicked off with a song about unity, just because there's so many Black people being murdered at that time. And he was like, I'm really feeling like we should do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, dope. So we started working on that song. And the song gave us time to like develop the business and just get a lot of stuff done. We had to get partnerships in place. We had to sign a lot of legal documents and all those things. And so it like, we worked on that from I think May until like the end of August. And then we were like, okay, we're about to drop. It was so quick, you know what I'm saying? But I think it was like the culmination of both of all of our years of experience, all the closed doors, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many people have like tried to like look past us. Like, we're definitely, like, as Caleb Mitchell says, like bench warmers. Like people just wanted us to stay in one lane, and so everything else they were like, nah, it's cool, like little bro you. But yeah, like we both were able to kind of like take that and grind and grind and grind, and then when we collided, it just was so quick. So yeah, we launched in September. We were able to get investors on board to invest in our company. Now we have 4 people on the team in addition to Brandon and I. So it's like we're growing rapidly.
Right.
And yeah, so it's a blessing, and I'm like really excited about it. But I don't know if I answered your question, Brandon. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna just stop. But
Killed
yeah.
it. Nah, that was dead on. I don't have anything else to add on top of that.
See, this is why I hate this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna answer the rest of the questions because I just like took all of your words.
Nah, you good.
Brandon, you're in Austin?
Yeah, I'm in Austin.
Oh, I live in Killeen.
Oh, bet. Yeah, we got a link.
But yeah, you gotta let me know because I come up to Austin. My friend stays up there, so I come up to Austin every now and then. No one's really in Texas anymore. Everybody's in Atlanta or everywhere.
Yeah.
But okay, so I can tell y'all have really good like synergy. Like y'all complement each other as far as like right now. So if y'all were able to name one, what would be the biggest challenge working together during quarantine? Or just working together in general?
The biggest challenge? I mean, just not being in the same place. Like, not being in the same place is good, but you get a lot more done, or some conversations you just got to have in person. So that's been a challenge. But I've been to Atlanta a couple times in the past couple of months, so that we really were able to get stuff done. I think that's the biggest thing. Just not being in the same place could be a challenge at some instances.
Word, yeah, because I can tell. Because even right now, y'all like bang, 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 or it's like Erin's like, "Yo, let me say this." And you're like, "Oh, yeah, you said everything that I needed you to say, so we move."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like because the reason I laugh, because I feel like somebody's gonna be like, why did she laugh? I just laugh because I feel like we don't have any like issues between the two of us. I think like just because we both respect each other and we don't tie emotion to business. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like we gotta work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was just laughing because I'm like, oh, I don't think we actually have any issues aside from the fact that we're not in the same city. So yeah.
Word. One of BYOD's main focus is therapy. So can y'all both go into, why therapy is important to y'all, or why y'all decided to weave it into your label's mantra?
Yeah. I mean, I just know the importance of mental health. I'm personally not doing therapy right now, but I just know that you got to have a stable, healthy mind. You know what I'm saying? You got to be physically healthy, mentally, spiritually healthy. So I understand the importance of that. And a lot of people don't understand how much stress creatives go through, especially artists being on the forefront. They already got to please their fans. They always trying to do their best. Like that's a strain. You know what I'm saying? That's super stressful for a person, and people don't really realize that. So we already know, like when we lunch, was like, man, this is important to us. We want to have the creators that we work with, our staff members, to be mentally healthy, because we can't grow, we can't get to the next level if we're not healthy enough. So I just speak on that. And then I know Erinn, she's personally in therapy too. And then she just from working with her artists, that she understands the importance of it as well. So I'll let her speak on a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think that for me, I don't ever want to like profit off of a situation that I'm not like giving back to. And I see that the biggest struggle that's not being addressed with artists is their mental health. Again, I see it so much because people come to me because I'm a nurturer. And yeah, and then I think I have like a deep capacity for empathy. So I feel everything. Like I cry all the time, like all the time. People are surprised by it, but I literally cannot function if I'm not crying at least part of the week because I just need the release. But yeah, I think I carry a lot of weight just knowing a lot of stuff that people are going through too. And so with, my artists, I've just seen a lot of them go through hell. And then people are like talking about their music, or like, why did you say it like this? Or you should have said it nicer or more Christian. And it's like, yo, like you have no idea what they went through to get to this moment. And I think that people just lack so much compassion. And I think on the back end, the reason that we relate to artists so much is because they're displaying their trauma and their pain out to us. Even like joyful artists are singing about like having overcome, now they have joy, you know what I'm saying? So that took them going through something. So I think it's like, it's crazy for us to praise an artist for making a dope song, but not be concerned. They're like, you know, people be like, man, that song's so real, man. I've gone through this and I've gone through that. But nobody's like, yo, are you seeking help for that? Aside from just putting it on a record, you know? So that's really important to me. I started going to therapy last year, and it really changed my life. It started opening up a lot of things in me too that I didn't realize I struggled with or had issues with, that were playing out in other ways in my life. And so I just wish that anybody could have that opportunity, because when your mind is right, everything else flows well, you know, and it gives you an open door to loving people better. And I think that that's so important in life. Like, if you're healed and on the mend, you're so much more prone to love people and care about others, because you're at your best self. And that's, for me, my desire in life is that I could help people get to their best self. My caveat and my vehicle just happens to be music business, you know what I'm saying? But if there was no music business, I would be doing the same thing, trying to get people to be the best version of themselves in any capacity that I'm in.
Word. That's I appreciate the transparency on both your behalves. And yeah, I see a lot of artists say like, oh, music is like my release, and like, yo, but bro, like, you know, you need, if you need help, bro, you know, go get that help, because you're gonna find out that release isn't as releasing as you thought it was. And I appreciate that you push for that and that you advocate for it outside your label. Like, it's not just an inside thing. Like, you're just telling your artists, you know, y'all should get therapy. And like, you just let everybody else do whatever. You're letting everybody know that that's a necessity. So you're talking about, like you mentioned, you know, whenever artists say things that are too Christian, or that they should have said this better, you know, regardless of what they went through. So how do you want your label to, and this new chapter of your lives, to impact, you know, Christians, artists, and the world, and just the music world in general?
I'll let you go, Erinn.
I don't have an answer for that, I don't think. I think that so many people have this like grandiose mindset, and I think vision is super important. But sometimes it's hard for me to want to continue to move if I'm just like looking at this big vision. So like, yes, I want to impact the world, but right now I want our current artists to just make a comfortable full-time living off of their music, and like be whole and healed, you know, and like really like know the Lord. And I want them to be like happy and in a good place in life. And then I want all of our staff to be in the same exact place. I want us to be in that place. You know what I'm saying? So like, for me, it's just like a very small, tangible goal, because every day I can wake up and work towards that. Bigger goals for me just don't super work. And people have told me that maybe I lack vision, but here we are.
Yeah, like you. It's not, that's just how your mind is.
So I'm okay with that, because I think that I can chase things that I can see. And so and the thing is, I have really good vision. So like, I'm seeing past what most people can see. But I think that for me, the goal is like daily excellence that can produce something that we can run towards together. Like, even if you can't see where I'm going.
That's spot on. What can you repeat that question though?
How do you want this label and new chapter of your lives to impact Christians, artists, and the music world?
Yeah, and then on just top of that, I guess just the whole what our name means, build your own dreams. We just want to let people know, you know, with God on your side, you can do anything. You know, there's gonna be obstacles in life and struggles and stuff you gotta overcome. But if there's something you really want, like, it's possible you can build your own dreams. That's why I love the name so much. Like when Erinn named it, like, look, I already know what the name gonna be. Just build your own dreams. I was like, cool. That's our life story, and we come from similar backgrounds. So it's like we a living testament. So we just want to show other people that, hey, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the main thing for me.
Word. The name is really creative. I like it. It's not like, you know, People Incorporated or like something basic. It's like, yo, no, this is, it's gonna make you think, and it's gonna make you, you know, like, hey, what they talking about? But okay, so I listened to New Heights whenever it dropped by Darnell Parks, and you know, one would be a fool to not understand your views on being Black in America. But would y'all mind to go into how those views were developed and how y'all use them to steer through life now?
Yeah. Shit, I'm trying to see where to start. And I gotta feed off you.
You know, I am from the south side of Atlanta, but I grew up in the suburbs. So it's like Atlanta's like a lot of major cities. You could be like in a really nice area and one more street over, you're in a rougher area. But my parents are both from the hood, so they tried to like really shelter us from that. So my perspective was informed by like middle class white Americans for the most part. At a young age, you know what I'm saying? But my parents were pastors in like a Black area. So I think that I had to, once I got to like 18, 19, 20, really started getting into the city of Atlanta, not just like the burbs. Like I started understanding that I had to unlearn a lot of stuff, but like I started understanding that Blackness wasn't just like one dimensional, like I had been taught. Like I felt like I was other than Blackness. And so I feel like I didn't have the right way to like own it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being in Atlanta though is like super dope. It's literally Black heaven. It's like the Mecca, you know what I'm saying? So I just got to see myself and so many other people, and I was so encouraged by that. So I think about, you know, people say representation matters, but I don't think they get it. Like I remember for the first time when I was like 16, 17, 18, seeing commercials with Black people for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
on national TV, you know, like people don't think about that. Like I'm 31, like just under 10 years ago did I start seeing Black people regularly in commercials, you know? And so I think once I started seeing myself in the world more, I realized that I wasn't getting enough of that. So for me, I think a lot of the things that I've transitioned into just recently is being a lot more public with who I am. I am a pretty like private person. I'm like an open book, but social media still doesn't super make sense to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
the concept is wild. I respect it, but it's wild. So I just was like not putting myself really out on the internet. And I started realizing that more people needed to see themselves as creatives and business owners and multidimensional. Like because I tour so much, started realizing that really, that's only regular in like Atlanta and like just a few places in the world, to be honest. Like I've traveled overseas. I've been a lot of places in the world. It's so rare to be somewhere that Black opulence and excellence is normal. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up knowing Black millionaires. I grew up with my parents actually doing pretty well for themselves. So I just had never understood that is so rare. And then when I got out into the real world and started realizing how hard it was without the shelter of my parents, yeah, I could tangent forever. I'm just saying, like, being Black in America is a head trip. Being Black in this world is a head trip, you know? And I
Yeah.
think for me, I can create a place for people to really be like, this is amazing, because it is. It is amazing to be blessed with this melanated skin and this lifestyle and this thought process. Like, the more that we can encourage Black children that what they are is divine, the more that we can see a change for our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just frustrating sometimes to see people not be their best version of their self because they didn't know that they could, you know? And I think that's like, people have gripes against the Black community. And it's like, when you don't see yourself in the world, you don't have the opportunity to prosper like other people do. And so I think for me, yeah, I have strong opinions, especially as a woman. I have strong opinions about being Black in America, but my strongest opinion is that it's incredible to be a Black person and to be able to shape the future of America. And that's that's my only grandiose thought that I have. If I do what I need to do daily, I will be shaping the future.
Sorry, I keep looking. I hear stuff going on outside.
Are you good?
That's what's up. I appreciate it. I mean, like we already talked about this. I am recording, but I am going to phrase this right. I do feel like 2020 is huge in the spiritual world right now, the spiritual realm. Like if we were to step into the spiritual realm, we'd see like a whole bunch of stuff popping off. And I think a lot of that stuff is centered around us because we have gone through some stuff. Like everybody gone through some stuff 2020. It's like Black people have gone through the most psychologically, and we're expected to perform as if nothing has happened in the first place. And I feel like it's time to, one, take the culture back. It's time to make, be ourselves completely unapologetically. It's time to dismantle a lot of things. And it's time for ownership. Like Derek Miner says, ownership is the new Black. And I appreciate that y'all are doing that with y'all's label. So for, my last question, if tomorrow the CDC said, COVID has evaporated and it's no more, what would y'all's game plan be, and what would y'all's next move be?
I think we still continue because COVID's still affecting us for sure. But for the game plan that we have, and these next couple upcoming months where we announcing our artists and we're in that rollout phase, it's not really affecting us. We kind of still sticking to the same strategies because we doing content heavy digital wise. I think the only difference was just be like the touring aspect, the events wise. Cause now we navigating events like, okay, what can we do now that would still be safe? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to put people in danger. We still keeping social distance in mind. So you got to get creative around that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking of ideas like, okay, how can we do this for this artist when his project drops? What can we do that will still be safe and keep everybody out of harm's way? So if COVID done, we don't think about that no more. We can just continue doing what we was doing before.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing is just touring and events, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like we're creative people, so like we actually have the advantage right now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't look at opposition that way, but because we're really good at pivoting. Brandon and I both grew up playing basketball. So like a pivot has been something I've understood since I was a child, but I realize that most people aren't equipped with that understanding. But yeah, I think that it's a blessing from God that bad stuff happens because it makes you stronger at what you do. But like, yeah, if stuff comes back, the competition will be insane because everybody will be wanting to throw concerts and events. So I still feel like our focus would be digital and we would be trying to figure out how to innovate or move around. So yeah.
Yeah. And the idea we have now is actually, I feel like it's better. As far as what we're trying to do event wise and what we have coming, I feel like we wouldn't have thought of that if COVID wasn't here. It'd just be the same old regular concert, regular tour. So I love how this is pushing creativity, kind of like what Erinn just said. So I don't have any complaints. Yeah, it's a blessing for sure.
Word. I appreciate that. I got it. Just keep going. Like, I love to see it. So just keep going. Just my encouragement to y'all. Pray for y'all. Pray that y'all, get everything that y'all are praying for, and that, y'all's requests continue to be honored by the Lord. But that was episode, we don't know, of Quarantine Christians Reigniting the Faith. I sat down with BYOD. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode, and y'all stay tuned at CHH Talk for more.
Man, appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much, Frederick.
Yeah, appreciate you for real.